Oh. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing good today. So for today's video, I'm super pumped, super excited because I get to talk about my favorite makeup products with you guys. These are my favorite videos to film, honestly, because I get to talk about makeup with my besties. So obviously, right? So anyway, yeah, I'm going to round up all the products that I have loved during this year, and I just cannot wrap my mind that this year is over. But yeah, it is. I don't know if I'm excited for 2021, to be honest, but anyway, I am excited about some of the makeup that I'm going to buy in 2021. I have a list, so I'm just excited for that. Nothing more. So anyway, let's start on with the video after the longest intro ever. So if you're new to my channel, I always forget to tell my intro. So yeah, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for joining in today. I love you guys a lot. Also, please hit the subscribe button and yeah, help me out. It helps me out a lot. Also the notification bell, because YouTube is not going to recommend you my videos until and unless you hit the notification bell. So let's get on with the video now. Okay, so I am going to start with primers, foundations, concealers and all of that. And I do have to say that I don't have an eyeshadow recommendation for you guys because I haven't used any eyeshadow palette that I have fallen in love with this year. This year I went back to being natural. I don't know, I wasn't going out that much. I wasn't doing much Instagram looks, so I went back to being natural, warm toned. So I don't have any eyeshadow recommendations. I'm sorry, but I do have some bomb ass primers, foundations, concealers. So let's get started. So this is not technically a primer, but I use this as a primer and oh my god, I have fallen in love with how my skin looks after using this as a primer. So this is the Minimalist Squalene oil. This is the 100% squalene oil. Now this is actually a facial oil, but if you have dry skin and if you are someone who just wants to, you know, make your foundation look flawless and dewy and just healthy looking, this is your key. This is amazing. This just looks so good on the skin. I recently did my whole base makeup tutorial where you can see how I like to use this. I just use 2 drops of it all over my face and apply any foundation. It can be a really matte foundation, a really full coverage matte foundation, and this oil is still going to make it look 10 times better. It is just going to make your skin look so dewy, so healthy from within. So that is why I really love this, not only as my skincare product but also as a makeup primer kind of a situation. I really do love this, and the money I have spent on this is totally 100% worth it. So anyway, this is the second primer that I have been loving actually. So this is a newer favorite. This is not like I have used this for months and months. This is actually a newer favorite. This is the CAL Los Angeles Beam Illuminating Primer Oil. Now I have to say that I did a sponsorship video with this brand and they sent me this product, and I actually really love this primer a lot. They had released 2 primers. One is for oily skin, mattifying primer, and one is for dry skin. For me, this is the Illuminating Primer Oil. Now this primer oil, I more so like it mixing with my foundation rather than just, I do have to sit this video out, you know, fidgeting with my sweater. But so yeah, as I was saying, that this primer oil is amazing because it just makes my skin look so glossy. It gives that glossy, wet kind of finish to my skin. I more so like this as mixing with my foundations. That way I just get like a glass skin effect and it just looks so beautiful. My skin just looks very good. It does have tiny micro shimmers in it, but honestly whenever I mix this with my foundation, I cannot even say that my foundation looks sparkly or anything as such. It just looks very radiant. My skin overall just has a very healthy glow to it. And yes, you can put this on as a primer as well, but I have noticed that I like it more when I mix this with my foundation and then apply it. It just gives that glossy skin effect, and that is why I do think something that this product is worth spending money on, because if you are someone with dry skin, you are going to love this. And also I have to say, this is not going to change the formulation of your foundation. This is not going to make it look like, make it oily or anything as such. The formulation is going to stay the same. It's just going to give it that wet kind of look. But I do have to say that if you mix the squalane with your foundation, this is going to make your foundation a little oily, a little dewy, but this one is just going to give you that glow. So next we have is two of my favorite concealers. Now my first favorite, I'm not ranking them, but yeah, this is the PAC Take Cover Concealer, and oh my god, I swear I've never loved a concealer as much as I love this. I got a PR package from PAC, like it was last year or this year, I almost forgot, but I got this concealer and I was super excited to try this out. And as soon as I tried it, I know I fell in love with the formulation. The formulation, I would say, is it's going to be a medium coverage concealer, but it looks so skin-like, and that is something that I love. I want my skin to look like skin even when I have tons of makeup on. That's just how I love my makeup to look like. So this one does give me that, you know, the skin-like effect. And with this concealer, I do not set my under eyes. I'm someone who, I don't like to set my under eyes, but this one gives me that little bit of hydrating effect on my under eyes. Sometimes when I use a medium coverage concealer, most of the times I do notice that my under eyes after a while tends to look very dry because I have dry skin, but this one doesn't do that. This one doesn't exaggerate your fine lines. This just makes your makeup look very, very natural. Although I do have to say that this one is not a full coverage foundation concealer. If you are someone who is used to using very full coverage concealer, this is not a full coverage concealer. If you have a lot of dark circles to cover, you first have to apply the color corrector and then you have to go in with this, because this alone cannot cover up all your dark under eye circles or anything as such. But this is such a beautiful concealer. The finish of this is so beautiful. I have fallen in love with this, and I don't see myself ever not repurchasing this. You know, if I run out of it, I'm totally getting a new one soon. So the next concealer I have here is also a very affordable buy, and it's something that I am super happy that I got into this year. This is a Darling Isabella concealer. Now I'm in the shade 05, and I have seen that the 05 shade isn't there anymore. I think it's out of stock, maybe because of that. But I do hope that they restock the 05 shade soon, because the shade selection of this concealer isn't that great at all. I wish the shade selection of this one was good, because the formulation is so amazing. This is something that is good if you are someone who have dry skin and you just want a concealer that is going to cover up your dark circles and stuff like that, but it's also not going to exaggerate your fine lines, or if you have dry under eyes, this is going to be amazing for you. I really love how good of a coverage this concealer gives, yet it gives me that natural look. Sometimes when we are using some concealers that are very, very good coverage, full coverage concealers, most of the times they kind of tend to look dry. At least on me, they kind of tend to look heavy, and they kind of tend to just sit on top of my skin, but not this one. This is the concealer that I have used for my under eyes today, and yeah, I do have a lot of makeup on, but as you can see, this concealer look natural, and I have not set it. I don't like to set my concealer, so I did not set this concealer too. Also, this concealer is something that I use whenever I'm having that no makeup kind of a day. I will just put on this concealer, a little bit of blush, a little bit of lipstick, and go out the door, and it just looks very natural. So next I have 3 foundations to talk about, so I'll just quickly go through them. This is the first foundation. This is the Insight Ultra Thin Second Skin Foundation. Now this one also doesn't have a lot of good shade in their range. I did wish that the shade of this Insight foundation was good, because the finish of this foundation is totally like second skin. It is really so good. It just looks good on your skin. I don't know how else to describe it. It just looks like second skin. It doesn't even look like you're wearing any makeup at all. It just looks, your foundation just looks very good. And if you're someone who have dry skin, you are going to love this. It's not a very full coverage concealer. Heck, I will say this is a light coverage concealer, even this hardly have any coverage, but this is going to look so good on your skin. I have done like a full-on video on this. You can see it, that video, how beautiful this makes my skin look. And this is something that is going to be good for everyday basis, and it's a very lightweight foundation at the same time, and it is something that going to give you the dewy kind of a look, and it's very, very hydrating on the skin as well. And instantly this just gives you that glass skin effect. I always say glass skin effect, but as you can see, I'm someone who likes a glow, a little bit of good glow on my skin, and I like to bring that with my foundations, with my primers, rather than using a highlighter these days. So yeah, I really have been loving this a lot. So the next favorite is also from PAC. So this is the PAC Spotlight Liquid Foundation. Now this foundation, I wouldn't say is a dewy foundation, but yes, it is a foundation that is going to give you a very flawless finish to your skin. If you are someone who has oily skin, you are going to love this, and if you are someone who has dry skin, you are still going to love this. It is a foundation that caters to, I feel like, every skin type. If you are someone who have dry skin, obviously you do not need to set this, but if you are someone who has oily skin, you will like this when you set it. Now I do know that PAC has an HD foundation which is much more, you know, talked about, but I like this one more because it just looks very good on the skin. It's not something that is going to give you a full coverage. This is a medium coverage foundation, but it looks very good on the skin. As I said, with all my makeup, it doesn't even look like you're wearing any foundation, but it is very long lasting at the same time. It is something that I pull out whenever I am going out for lunch. It's not for special events, because for special events I have another foundation that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, for something that I know I have to look good in pictures too, this one photographs really, really well. It just makes your skin look very beautiful, and also it makes your skin look like you do not have any foundation at all. So yeah, I really love this a lot. Goodbye. So the next foundation that I have here is from Sugar. Now this is the Sugar Stick Foundation, and this foundation is something that I pull out when I have to go out for an event, when I know I have to look like extra good. This is the foundation I pull out. Now I do have to say, this is almost a full coverage foundation. It actually depends on you. If you apply a lot of it, it can be a full coverage foundation. If you apply a little less, it can be a, you know, less coverage foundation. Now this has a stick on it as well, this brush, which is very, very useless. I will say that it does not blend your foundation at all. Please do not try to blend your foundation with this brush. I apply this foundation and I apply it with my sponge, and I blend it with my sponge, and whenever I am blending this foundation, right then and there, I will just appreciate how beautiful this makes my skin look. And that's something that I do whenever my foundation just looks good. And this foundation looks good no matter what primer I'm using, no matter what how my skin looks, even if my skin has a little bit of texture. This foundation looks good every single time I use it, and that is why I have fallen in love with this. This blends so well into my skin. It is a very good coverage foundation, but it doesn't look like makeup at all. And this is the foundation I have on my skin right now, and this just gives a very good finish to my skin. It doesn't make my skin too dewy also. It doesn't make my skin too mattifying also. It has just the perfect amount of amazing finish. It has a satin finish to it, which I really, really love, and I just feel like this foundation is very underrated and it's an amazing buy. So the next category that I have here is blushes. Now I am someone who loves blushes a lot, and I have 3 blushes to share with you guys. So this is the first blush. This is the O2O liquid blush that I got, and this is in the shade 06. Now I have already done a full-on dedicated review on this, and I have talked about this blush a lot on my channel here. So I really do love this blush a lot. This is the blush I have on my cheeks right now. As you can see, I do not have any highlighter on, by the way. I just have this blush and that's it. This blush, I would say, isn't too much pigmented. It's not way too pigmented where you cannot blend this. The blendability of this blush is amazing. Whenever you are getting a liquid blush or putting a liquid blush, there are a lot of factors that can ruin your makeup, but this one just looks so good. It sits so good on top of any foundation that I put. It looks very good, but I do have to say that this, I think dry skin people will enjoy it more than oily skin, because it definitely has a dew to it, and I just feel like if you are someone who has oily skin, you might not like this blush. Well, I don't have oily skin, so I cannot vouch for that, but I just, you know, I just have that feeling. So this shade 06 is so beautiful. I don't know why Amazon hasn't restocked this shade. I got it from Amazon, and one of the best buy, honestly, one of the best buy. Love this till date, and the packaging also beautiful. So the next blush I have that I recently loved, and I have talked about this non-stop. This is the Henna Haina Beauty Lush Rogue, and this is, I'm in the shade Russet. I got the shade Russet. So this is again such a beautiful formulation. I would say this liquid blush is going to suit everyone, even if you have oily skin, dry skin, it does not matter. I just feel like this blush gives you that kind of very flushed look on your skin. It is such a beautiful blush, and I don't know, the formulation of this blush is quite unique. It's something that is going to look very healthy on your skin, but also it lasts a lot longer. And if you're someone who likes a matte foundation, and if you apply this blush, it is going to be a matte blush for you. It is going to act that way. And if you're someone who, like me, who loves a good dewy foundation, dewy primer, then this blush is going to be dewy for you. So it ultimately depends on your base, how you want this blush to be, and that is what I find about this blush so unique, and that is why I think that this is going to suit everyone. And also the shade Russet, beautiful. So the last blush I have here is the SFR Color blush, and it's in the shade Naked Apricot, and oh my god, I have loved this blush so much. I am someone who, I recently have fallen in love with liquid blushes, but this blush is something that I cannot get over with how beautiful this is. Now this is such an affordable blush, and I mainly got it because of the shade. I did not know how this formulation was going to turn out, and when I got this, I saw that this has a sheen to it. I wouldn't say sparkles or glitter, this has a sheen to it. So when I got this, I was like, oh my god, this is not going to be my type. But when I applied this on my cheeks, it just made my skin look so beautiful. It just made my skin look so healthy from within. If you're someone who doesn't want to apply highlighter and blush separately, this is the product for you. Although I do have to say, this is not going to be bam bam, you know, like going to act like a highlighter, but this is something that is going to give you that flush of color, but also is going to make your skin look so beautiful. And I did not think ever that I'm going to fall in love with a blush that is not matte, but I did, and I'm so happy that I got this blush. The packaging is cute, the formulation is beautiful. I don't have a blush that has quite this kind of formulation, but this is amazing. And if you're someone who loves powder blush, you definitely should check this out. So the next thing we have is lipstick. So this is the lipstick that I'm wearing, and this is a lipstick I have worn so much during this year. This is a very affordable lipstick. This is the GlamGirls Ultra Smooth Lipstick, and it's in the shade 11. Now this shade is one of my favorite shade of lipsticks, and I haven't found an exact dupe of this shade in any other lipsticks at all. This is like the most nude peachy brown shade that I have in my collection, and I really like to apply this with a lip liner. This just looks so good. So the lip liner that I have been using is the Streetwear Lip Liner, and it's in this shade Russet Brown. Now this shade is, I would say, again has a peachy kind of undertone to it, has a warm undertone, but is a brown lip liner, and these two combo together, perfection. If you're someone who is a nude lover and who loves lipsticks a lot, I do think that you should check them out. Also, not only that, this lipstick, the formulation is very good. It is matte, but it just feels like nothing on your lips, and it's not way too pigmented. You have to swipe twice to get on the full pigmentation, but I really do love this lipstick a lot. So the last product that I loved, makeup category I loved, are these lashes. Oh my god, I really love these lashes a lot, especially when I cut them and I put the last part in this eye. As you can see, I'm wearing these lashes. Only thing is, I cut out the lashes in half and I only put the last part in this area in my outer corner, and this just makes my lashes look very elongated, my eye shape very elongated, and it is a very beginner friendly lash. I got it from Amazon. I'll leave the link down below. If you're someone who doesn't like to have that thicker kind of lash band, this is going to be amazing for you. And I do think that this is such a good lash for beginners, and I like wearing these lashes even when I'm going out and about. I really love how these lashes make my eyes look, and not only that, they look very natural also. So yeah, that was everything for today's video. If you are someone who is new and who sat through the entire video, I mean, thank you first of all. Also, hit on the subscribe button. Why not, right? Because I post quirky videos for you guys every single week. Now, I'll tell you guys in my next video. Bye bye.